So, what exactly happened overnight? Did my intro just get cut off? In case it did, I'm going to say it again. Welcome back to Crypto Straws. I am George. We're all George. So, what happened last night? Why did Bitcoin skyrocket, now above 51 and about to shatter 52? Well, it's been what? It's what I've been saying. I told you guys, the compounding effect of the ETFs, the halving event, everything that's going on is adding up. So let's talk about what's going on today, what to expect, and why all-time high is right around the corner. Let's do it. Welcome, 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 guys. Ooh, lively crowd this morning already. Look at this. When you woke, well, at least when I did, I don't know about you guys. When I woke up, checking my phone, I'm like, oh my God. It happened again. Massive buying that drove Bitcoin to a new high for this year and for 2023 and for 2022. We haven't seen this level since very early days of 2022 and 2021. And I don't think this is going to stop. And I'll tell you why. Because that supply shock I've been talking about, it's really adding up. It's starting to really add up. That's what's happening. Look at it. The FOMO is happening right in front of our eyes. We're about to shatter 52, right? The George effect is in play. It's looking good. It's looking really good. So what's going on? Okay, you guys may want to know what's going on in case you haven't been tuning in every single day for the past how many years. Well, Bitcoin regained 1 trillion market cap. Okay, 1 trillion, not 1 billion, $1 trillion market cap. Of course, Bitcoin has been above 1 trillion before, but not that long. Maybe like in total a few months. We haven't seen Bitcoin really stay above 1 trillion for a long time. This cycle is going to be different. Yes, I believe this cycle will push Bitcoin well past 1 trillion, and we may stay above 1 trillion forever afterwards. We may never see below 1 trillion after this run is over. Now, to put things into context, Bitcoin right now at 1 trillion is worth more than TSMC, which is talked about a lot, more than Tesla, more than Berkshire Hathaway, more than Visa, more than JP Morgan, double of JP Morgan Chase. Take that, Jamie Dimon. But, you know, there's still silver, there's still gold, and of course you got Microsoft, Apple, Google, Nvidia, all these big tech companies. It's just a matter of time. Bitcoin's going to shatter through all of them and be right under gold, and maybe next cycle is when Bitcoin becomes larger than even gold. Okay. Right now, all indications are Bitcoin is climbing faster, appreciating harder, and there's more FOMO, okay, than gold and when it debuted its own ETF back in the day. Okay, things are just moving much faster, right? So that could definitely drive things up very quickly. Now, despite yesterday, you know, when I was streaming yesterday morning, Bitcoin came down a little bit, went below 50,000, went to like 49 and eventually hit 48 something. And then some people turned bearish and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Do you not realize this is just a shakeout? That these big boys, whoever they are, and it could be BlackRock themselves, just want you to sell. Why do they want you to sell? Because they want to accumulate more. Okay, now BlackRock holds 100,000 Bitcoin already in their ETF. That's within 3 weeks, guys. 3 weeks. Imagine what this number will be after 1 year. Just after 3 weeks, they already hold 100,000 Bitcoin. And this is not going to stop. And this is not just with BlackRock. It's with everyone else too. Yesterday alone, BlackRock added close to $500 million worth of Bitcoin. Do you see a pattern here? Look at the starting from the 6, really. 6, 7, and then boom, 8 higher, 9 higher, 10 higher, or well, it goes to 12 because the weekend. Higher, and yesterday even higher. And yesterday was a down day. And guess what people did? They bought. Yesterday was a down day, and we still have 500 million just going into BlackRock's ETF alone. And in total, we had over $600 million worth of Bitcoin flowing into the ETFs. And again, do you see the pattern and how it's escalating? It's not shrinking. It's actually getting bigger. This is why I talk about the compounding effect of ETFs. It's happening right now. We're moving faster in this cycle than any previous cycle before in terms of a recovery. And if the recovery is moving faster, does that mean our top is going to be higher than before too? I mean, right now we're moving so quick because of these ETFs, because of the supply shock factor. When you have $600+ million worth of Bitcoin being locked away by the ETFs every single day, that's a lot of buying pressure. And there's not that many sellers right now. Well, like, why would you sell Bitcoin right now if you've been holding since 2022 and we have just passed 52,000, right? Like, this is not going to stop, guys. It's not going to stop. I've been saying this. You could see, you just have to put 2 and 2 together, and I've been putting 2 and 2 together for you guys. The supply shock factor is happening right in front of our eyes, yet there are still some that refuse to believe. Like, how could you dispute this? You have $600+ million worth of Bitcoin going into ETFs every day. That doesn't even count the whale buying or retail buying. This is just what's flowing into ETFs, and that's not going to stop. And I bet you today, because of the volume, when we get these numbers for tomorrow, we'll get like $1 billion flowing into the ETFs because of massive FOMO. You just have to pay attention, guys. You just have to pay attention. Even if you don't want to put it together, I'll put it together for you. That's what I've been doing for years. Now, of course, the people that shorted Bitcoin, well, they're not feeling good on this Valentine's Day. They're getting effed harder than they're going. Okay, I'm not going to finish that. But anyways, you could see there's like $100 million worth of shorts liquidated today. Okay, again, if you don't believe in Bitcoin, just don't short it. You could sell your Bitcoin if you don't believe, but don't short Bitcoin, especially now. The easiest way to lose money is to short Bitcoin. I mean, that's just really it. You could long Bitcoin. I threw a 35x long last night, and it's looking pretty good, even though that's dangerous, but still, never short Bitcoin. But there are some people that will not listen, and they will continue to do so. Just don't do it. But anyways, I don't care. The shorters getting wrecked, that just means we have more short squeezes, and that means Bitcoin and the entire crypto market cap is going to go up even more. It's just that simple. Michael Saylor agrees with me. Pent-up demand driving capital into Bitcoin. Of course, FOMO. I've said this for years. FOMO is not just a thing for retail. Even though, yes, retail does lead FOMO, especially when it comes to meme coins and stuff, and everyone wants to FOMO in. But, you know, there are a lot of other players that FOMO too. Large funds FOMO, okay, like pension funds and retirement funds. They're not supposed to, but they do. They still care about returns. I mean, hedge funds certainly FOMO. We've seen that before. And companies, you know, with large amount of cash, they know they need a FOMO too into something that'll preserve their buying power. They don't want their cash pile to inflate to nothing either. So FOMO's like everywhere. Now before, it was hard for a lot of these entities to FOMO into Bitcoin, but now there's no excuse. You could go into your brokerage and just buy Bitcoin ETFs. It's that simple, and we're gonna get more of it. It's, you know, it's again, it's gonna be a compounding effect, and it's gonna keep on going and going and going. Now, the stock to flow model, Plan B took some heat because it didn't work out the last cycle. Well, mostly because of the Fed rate cut and so forth, or rate hike. But this time around, let's see if we get back on track. Okay, right now we have broken back to where Bitcoin should be, and we'll see by the end of this cycle, can we see Bitcoin go back to where it's supposed to be? And I don't know where that's supposed to be. It's looking pretty high though, maybe 500,000. That's where it looks at, something like that. It seems incredible. It seems like there's no way Bitcoin could do a 10x from these levels. There's just zero chance that it could happen. But again, with the ETFs, the compounding effect, with this year having rate cuts, and the money's going to start swirling around, and a presidential election, and a halving event, and everything else that's going on, who knows? The FOMO is going to be massive coming up. Massive, okay? And I did talk about we're moving faster this cycle than ever before in terms of recovery. I talked about it last few days. We broke a few points, like the 0.618 Fibonacci level. We have never, ever, ever broken through that ahead of the halving event. Never in history. And we have done so 2 months ahead of the halving event. The way we're going right now, my earlier prediction may be too conservative. And I made a few predictions. And in hindsight, they may be too conservative. In fact, I just made this prediction one day ago. How Bitcoin will reach 60,000 in 14 days. We may reach 60,000 by the end of this week. And the reason why I made that prediction is based off of history. Before I covered this chart, before when Bitcoin surpassed this 45.5 mark, and this was back in 2021, it took only 14 days for Bitcoin to shatter $60,000, okay? So we did pass 45.5, and even despite yesterday we fell down, we just came right back up, V-shaped recovery, and now we're even higher, right? So is it unreasonable to think that within the next 2 weeks, Bitcoin's going to hit 60,000? That is not unreasonable to think. The way we're going right now, that's like only 10% away from where we are. Well, a little bit more than that, right? Another prediction I had was that by the summer will probably be at like $70,000, right? Summer, June, July timeframe. That may be conservative too, the way we're going. If we breach $60,000 and the ETFs are still causing massive supply shocks every single day, we could be at 70,000 in no time, right? Maybe we break through all-time high before even the halving event. Think about that. That's just nutty. It just blows your mind to think that that can actually be a reality now. I mean, we're moving so quickly, guys. So quickly. It's just wild. It's just wild. All right. So I've been telling you guys to stay strong, stay focused, DCA for years now. And those of you guys that have listened, you're getting rewarded, right? You're getting rewarded hand over fist with gains. And tonight is DCA night. And we'll see what my DCA portfolio is looking like. I bet it's looking pretty good. And I bet most of you guys are looking pretty good too. I mean, even if you just held on Bitcoin, last time I checked this, 95% of people holding Bitcoin are in profit. I bet it's more like 98% now. Dan, Gary got pressed on BTC versus AI. Why versus AI? I don't get that. Anyways, I lost my train of thought, but you know, it's just looking good. It's looking fantastic. Not only for Bitcoin, but for an entire sector. We're closing in at 2 trillion market cap. Okay. And today you have some standouts. Bitcoin leading the way, almost 6% gain today versus yesterday. And then you got ETH coming close to 2,800. You got Solana coming close to 120 once again. Even Cardano is having a good day at 7%. And there's many others that are doing quite well today. Stacks is another one. I talk about Stacks all the time. Stacks, programmable language on top of Bitcoin. It's going to be a big winner this cycle. Okay. We're hearing more and more and more about BRC20 and DEXs around them and liquidity providers and lending protocols. I mean, everything is coming out for BRC20, and all these projects are possible because of Stacks. Stacks is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. But you got a lot of others that are doing quite well. I talk about Solana all the time, so I will skip over them, but I just talked about last night. I mean, everything within the Solana ecosystem is blowing up. Every single thing. So that's why I'm very bullish on Solana. But you have others. Aptos, they announced that they're going to be launching an esports blockchain platform in India. That's fantastic. You got Avalanche. Of course, Avalanche, very involved with games. Going to be absolutely a monster this cycle. And they just unveiled their Durango upgrade for their testnet. And this will be coming soon to their mainnet, which will just bring more interoperability between their subnets and those dApps. So that's awesome too. And of course, today is Valentine's Day. Everyone needs a little Coq Inu. And Coq is doing very well today as well. And that's because, not because of Valentine's Day. It's because I think there's rumors that Binance may be listing Coq in the near future. See, they posted screenshots and you can see these Binance transactions. Where are they coming from, right? And why is their transactions from Binance? Are they gearing up for something? Maybe. Maybe. All right, guys. Let's do Q&A. We got 6,300 people in here. 6,300. We haven't seen those kind of numbers since a long, long time. When we broke out in November or October. All right, let's do Q&A. Man, what happened to my camera? Hold on, let me adjust it real quick. Oh boy, that's a little too bright. There we go. Hold on. Let me scroll. Let's see what happened. Yeah, Dan said something about Gary got pressed on Bitcoin versus AI. I don't know why. JH. Roshan is shilling Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 Inu. More Light, the co-founder of that project, is fighting Ben Armstrong in the IFC. So we're going to be promoting that pretty soon. But that's going to be happening in a week and a half. So that's going to be exciting. These charts are getting my... Crypto Chris, there's too much cock comments here. How are the inflows, outflows? You know, from the exchanges, I don't know, but from The ETFs, they look absolutely fantastic. BlackRock bought close to 500 million. Well, I mean, they didn't themselves. I mean, institutions did. But 500 million almost flew in yesterday. Today, maybe a billion. I cracked my neck. What do you think about designer token exit? That just sounds like an exit scam. Why would you name your token exit? Perry says, George, I tip you more, but I faded Solana and I'm XRP broke. Can you play the new XRP video you made? I could do that. I could do that because it's really true. Although a lot of people, here, let me play this real quick. It's doing quite well.
If you're a Cardano holder, you know how painfully slow it is. But you could probably afford like a normal 4-bet. If you're a Solana holder, of course, you can afford Z06. So if you're an XRP holder, you're buying that dump truck because you still need to work.
For a while now, I've had my eyes on the newly updated Tesla.
I just realized I muted myself. I was I was having a good conversation with myself. I was answering Citizen Crypto in terms of max date for cashing out. I think it depends on how fast we move, right? Like if we're at 150,000 by the end of the year, then that's like a little bit too quick. And I realized my camera's off too. But you know, I think we just gotta play it by year and see where Bitcoin ends up by the end of this year, and maybe like by mid next year, then we know. Sol just flipped BNB. Does BNB stay in top 10? Yeah, I don't think BNB, even if BNB didn't move from its current level, it would stay in the top 10. It's really big. But Solana did flip it, and I think it's go flip Tether. And then it'll be like neck and neck between Ethereum and Solana. And then eventually Solana flips Ethereum. NMCT, what's more important, one Bitcoin or a balanced portfolio? Well, I mean, keep in mind, you don't have to actually physically hold one. If the entire portfolio adds up to one, you're still a whole coiner. That's how I see it, right? But I think balanced is still the right way to go. Of course, Bitcoin is leading the way. But if you have 50% of your portfolio in Bitcoin, you're fine. You're doing just fine. Do you think Bitcoin will ever go below 50,000 ever again? You know, I was actually saying that during the stream at the beginning. You know, the way we're moving, to say never again is, you know, is a hard declaration, because usually when you say that, it comes true. But right now, the way we're going, I don't know. Like after the end of this cycle, if Bitcoin is already at like 300, 400,000, even if we fall like 80%, I don't even think we'll be at 50,000, right? Maybe. But, you know, it really depends on how high we get. Now, if we end 2025 at like 150,000, then is there a possible chance that we go below 50? Sure. But if we end 2025 at like 300,000 or 350,000, then no, I don't think we'll ever see below 50,000 again. This is why I've been telling you guys about the ETFs, even though I get so excited about, you know, all the inflows into the ETFs and how it's causing supply shock. That's all great and all. But for retail investors, this really goes suck because once Bitcoin breaks through 6 digits and goes above 100,000, you realize most retail investors can never get in anymore. I mean, it's just too expensive, right? I mean, for people that's been around, you could continue to DCA, of course, but like for new people, I'm saying, they can't get in anymore. You know, who's going to take out 100,000 from their bank account and buy 1 Bitcoin, or 150,000 to buy 1 Bitcoin, right? So don't let that happen. That's why we still have time. We're still below previous high. There's still time to DCA, but eventually they'll come to a point where it's like, it's just too expensive. So don't let that happen. Do you stake any of your coins like Sol? No, I should. There's a lot of coins I should natively stake, but I don't. Perry, you know, this is what all husbands should learn is happy wife, happy life. There's no going around that. Will institutions price themselves out? Well, I mean, you're talking about institutions that have billions and trillions of dollars just sitting there. Okay, they don't care about Bitcoin being at 50,000 or 60,000 or 100,000, but they will care when it costs $1 million to buy a single Bitcoin. You know, eventually they may think twice, but right now they could throw billions in there like pocket change. They don't care about this. Andreas, do you think it's realistic for Say suing Zai to 10x bull run? Yes. Yes, I do. I'm just curious what, like something like iBit. Yeah, iBit's up 5% today. There's going to be a lot of inflows. A lot of inflows into BlackRock's ETF today, that's for sure. What about Coinbase? Man, Coinbase is up a staggering 14% today. MicroStrategy up 10% today. A new 52-week high. Man, MicroStrategy is at $758. They are now worth $13 billion. Pretty soon, the way we're going, the way Bitcoin is going, they could be at 7,500 soon and be worth $130 billion. Teresa, message retracted. I'm 60% loss in coins like ADA, DOT, Elron, VET. If I reach break even, should I sell those or wait for the coins to reach new highs? You know, a lot of people are wondering the same thing. Sometimes you just have to change. Sometimes you have to change, sometimes you don't. You just keep on DCAing, bring the cost average down, so that eventually when they do recover, you're in the green. So you have to make that determination. But I talk about betting on the fastest horses in the race, especially in the bull market, right? Sometimes people become too attached to what they hold, and they sit on it and sit on it and sit on it and sit on it and sit on it some more. while all the other horses are like miles away ahead now, right? So sometimes you just have to make that change. Is BTC leaving a 2-year cup and hold handle pattern? I showed that recently, yes. That did happen. I believe, okay, in case you guys want to know, where's the next level? I've just talked about this a few days ago. The next level I drew out is 52.3, okay? And, you know, we broke this 48, which is a really big resistance. We broke through it. 52.3, you have to go all the way back. Let me show you guys where that resistance comes from. You got to go all the way back. Like, I almost can't fit on the screen here. You could see right here, December 21st was the last time we hit this level. Think about that. December 21st. And then we also hit it here, September 21st, right? So we hit it a couple times. I think that's going to be a major resistance. But look at what's above it. Once we break through 52.3, I mean, there's nothing. This is just a head right here, right? And we went up really quickly, stayed above for, you know, just a few months and then came back down. So we haven't been above this for a long time. So that's why I think when we break through this 52.3, the sky becomes a limit. 60,000 is around the corner. That's why that prediction I made within 14 days, that could be conservative. We could be 60,000 by the end of this week, right? So we have to go all the way back there to see the next resistance level. And we're, you know, look at how long we've been below, right? And then we're close to there. We haven't quite hit it yet. So I think we're really close. At 52.3, we may, that's only like 300 points away. I mean, I think we may settle there. Maybe we break above a little bit and then come back down, settle there for a little bit like this, and then blow upwards. But again, it depends on a FOMO level, I guess. CC Airdrop says, I believe 90K in weeks, 150K by summer. That would be too fast, man. As much as I would love that to happen, that's just too fast. If we hit 150K by summer, there will be a nasty crash that will scare a lot of people. I'll just say that. Chetan Patel says, I am a simple investor and kept DCAing since 2021. Thanks to George. I've said that for so long. It's like the winningest how you win. I don't think that's a word. How you win the most with Bitcoin and with investing overall is accumulate as much as you can and hodl as long as you can. That's how people, all the self-made billionaires, if you ask them how they done it, that's how they did it. They just buy low when other people are panicking, and then they hodl, and they just keep on doing it. And the longer they hodl, the more rich they get. Serious question: can Coq do 100x? I don't know if it can. It's pretty high. It's pretty high already, so I don't know if it could do 100x, but 10x for sure, man. Coq is up 17% today. 10x would be at 1.4. 100x would be 14 billion. You know what? I take that back. It can't actually do 100x. And the reason being, Sheep did 40 billion. And Doge did 80 billion in the last cycle. So can something like Coq do 100x and get to 14.5 billion or 14.8 billion? Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. It probably won't happen until the very, last month. My gaming coin's going wild the last 7 days. Congratulations. I covered gaming, waiting for them to really get hot. I think gaming narrative this year could be fantastic. And if so, someone like Beam, Immutable, Avalanche, they will benefit greatly from it. I see Tom in the crowd. Welcome. What are top 3 value coins in the top 30? Jupiter, ADA, Beam, HBAR. Any suggestions would be good, man. You King Mike. I talk about them all the time. Okay, Jupiter's not even in top 30. So there are a lot of bargain ones, man. In the top 100, there are a lot of bargains, okay? Jupiter is one, but I said you got to wait until it levels out because of the airdrops. A lot of people are selling, but Jupiter, I think, is going to do very well. Manta Layer 2 is going to do very well. You got a lot of here I'm skipping over that will probably still do well. Osmosis, Akash, both in Cosmos, will do well. Rose will do well, up and coming L1, 2. Bonk will certainly do well. I'm certain of that. Bonk is going to do very well. Blur, the biggest NFT marketplace, will do well. Pith Network is on an absolute tear, on fire, okay? So I think they're going to do very well, and they're still below 1 billion market cap. You got a lot of exchange tokens that'll do well. BigGet, KuCoin, BNB, all these other ones that OKX's coin, I think they'll do well because simply people are holding them and using them. Like Flare, Phantom, Algorand, I think they'll come back to the previous high and do well, but I'm not the biggest fans of them because I think they're a better place. But like Beam, very, very bullish on. I think Helium will do very well. Sui, neck and neck. I think both of these will do absolutely fantastic. Mantle's another L2. VeChain, yes. Arbitrum, yes. Hedera, yes. And then Lido, Injective, Aptos, Stacks, yes, yes, yes. Near Optimus, yes. Immutable and Cosmos, yes. I didn't realize Immutable got so big. They're 4 billion. Immutable, I think, is going to be a monster this cycle. And I hope Cosmos too. And then Polygon, yes. Chainlink, a big yes. I think Chainlink is going to break into the top 10 and stay there. Avalanche, yes. And Solana, yes. Views on Chromium's performance, mainnet 2 to 3 months. They're up and coming. They seem like they're promising. Shady says, this is my first full bear going into bull. It's playing a lot for the most part, like you said, and a couple others I watch. Well, it's not my first rodeo. I've seen a couple of these, but yeah, I'm glad you stuck around. It sucks. Living through an entire crypto winter, especially this one, it was the longest drawn out winter we've ever seen. So it sucks, but when things come back, they come back really fast, and you forget. Like, I forgot about 2022. I don't even remember it anymore. I do remember parts of 2023, but mostly the good parts, right? That's how it is. BD90 says, thanks, George. Over 1 Bitcoin and 100K portfolio. Congratulations. That is, like, I was talking this over with my wife. like if we think back before, at least for our lives before, years ago when we were, we were both combined income well over six figures, but we had credit card debt, we had mortgage, we had kids, car payments, we go on vacation and stuff. Like we didn't have 100K in a portfolio to just throw at investments. Okay. We had small investments, maybe 5, 10, 15K, but we certainly didn't have 100K to just throw out there to put into a Bitcoin, right? So those of you guys that have accomplished that, at least that's one Bitcoin, realize that's a huge accomplishment. Even though there are many people that have a lot more, but just having at least one equivalency of a Bitcoin, you're talking about 50,000 plus now. And if you have over 100,000 in crypto, I bet like less than 1% of people in the United States have over 100,000 in crypto investments, right? You're doing way better than most. So it's a big accomplishment. Congratulations. It's a huge accomplishment. Coq Inu. Victor, never heard of it. I think people should stop using Inu as a name, other than Coq. Coq is the one that actually I accept because it makes sense. But all the other ones, they don't need to add Inu in their name. Can Chainlink do a 10x? I certainly think so. People underestimate how important Chainlink is, but their CCIP protocol is bringing a lot more attention and real world use to them. Real world companies are really thinking about utilizing them, and even like someone like Swift is thinking about using CCIP. It's phenomenal. But don't ignore Pyth too as the second biggest oracle. There's a big gap between the two, I know, but Pyth is making real moves, making real strides within the space. So, and they're under $1 billion in market cap. Technically, it's Eno. Yeah, no one pronounced it like that. Quinn Development, afternoon from London. How many of you guys are going? By the way, how many of you guys are going to Paris Blockchain Week? I'm just curious. And I'm just wondering if I should go. And also, for those of you guys, again, because Bitcoin's doing so well, if you want to meet me and other influencers and have a good time in Orlando, make sure you go to the TWC. It's a smaller conference. I'm hosting a network event there. It's in Orlando. First week or second week of March. Love to see a lot of you guys there. If interested, you can buy tickets in the description. Yeah, I'm talking to several projects, and I think I'm going to attract some good ones there. Christo Mako says, same old question, but I got to know for sure. Buy XRP, question. All right, I can't tell if you're trolling or if you're actually being serious. I already showed my XRP video already that so many people love. I could show another one, but I'm not going to do so. I'll just say it's just really tough. It's really tough to be an XRP holder. That's all I got to say. If you are an XRP holder, you have the most diamond-crusted hands on earth, because since 2018, it's been going lower and lower and lower, and has never again formed a new high. So XRP holders have the strongest hands. Craig Andros said, I started buying BDC in 2015. Awesome. That's a great time to be buying. In the long run, all current price will be looked back upon as a bargain. Of course. Of course. That's all I do, really. I just try to help people understand and, more importantly, hodl. That's it. Through the up and downs, and I get bashed all the time saying I'm too bullish And, you know, I'm not realistic and I keep throwing out wild numbers, but eventually they all come true. You know, maybe I just do it a little bit ahead, but I do so because with the purpose of helping you guys understand what's coming and helping you guys hodl. Because we've gone through some dark times, some very dark times. And for the most part, everyone leaves except people that have been in past cycles and they understand. But every cycle, there's new people that comes in and they don't quite understand. And that's all I do. Help people understand and help people hodl. That's it. Christopher, appreciate that. Samsung said, my favorite part of crypto is my Cockmaster NFT. That's right. I love to hear that. Let's see if I can get it. If you love cock, or your significant other likes cock, and you guys want to be masters of cock, then you should pick up a Masters Cock NFT. You know, it's going pretty well so far. I used all the funds I collected, and I bought cock with it. So I said I was going to use 50%, but I just threw it 100% into cock. And that's even up too now. I'm waiting patiently for that pre-halving 20% dip. You know it's coming anytime. I don't know that. History doesn't always repeat. And the last time we had it was due to a COVID crash. You look at the time before, we didn't have a 20% crash. It only happened the last cycle because of COVID. So, not saying it won't happen. It could happen, and you'll be happy it did. But if it doesn't happen, and we're at $70,000 by halving, you know, you're gonna feel kind of silly. Is there a promo code for TWC? I don't have any promo codes. I should have asked for some, but I don't have any. You know what? As we get closer to the event, I may get some free tickets and I'll just pass out. Injective or Celestia? Ooh, that's a tough one. I like them both. I would say still Injective because they have more going on, but Celestia is also, they have a lot going on too. I like both. I would just split it between the two. Story of Light asks, hey, have you heard of Neoxa? I don't even know how to say that. Neoza? No, it has to be I can't pronounce that. It's a gaming-focused blockchain project where you get paid in cryptocurrency for just playing your favorite games. I mean, there's a lot of projects that do that, you know, so it's not a new thing. There are games that reward players, and then there's platforms now that rewards players. So it sounds like it's one of them. They're very small. Very small. When did they debut? Back in 2022. Doesn't seem like they have a whole bunch of momentum right now. Eric V says, most of the market will be in disbelief when Bitcoin breaks through all-time high. I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen sooner than expected. I mean, we get so used to these price jumps and then like these levels so quickly. I don't think people realize that Bitcoin above 50,000 is crazy. It is really crazy. Like, just think about the gravity of that. I already said this, but like, being a whole coiner means that you have $51,600 worth of crypto. How many people on the planet have at least $51,600 worth of crypto? I would say 0.00001% of the human population probably has that. I mean, that's amazing. Amazing, right? The weight of Bitcoin and the way it's going up now, how fast it's moving up is incredible. And people don't understand that quite yet, but people will. These ETFs are causing such a big supply shock, and I don't think it's going to stop. Just look at how that's escalating. Tomorrow, we will see today's numbers, and I bet we have like 15,000 Bitcoin. Probably, if not more, that have been eaten up and soaken up by the ETFs. Mubi, Multibit. I think they're promising. A lot of the new Bitcoin related projects, they're all trying to figure it out. Multibit kind of led the way. I think they're, what I remember. I think they're the layer on top of Bitcoin for sole purpose of creating new token standards. I think that's what it is. Ron Liu says, I have 15K to put in a decent balanced portfolio. I want to throw into a good low mid cap. What are your thoughts on a couple of winners? Okay, okay, we're looking at like solid winners here. Okay, I think let's just look at below 2 billion. I'd say below 2 billion. Man, these are solid, but I like Sui a lot. But it's above a billion, 2 billion. I would say Beam is a solid play. I think Beam is going to do very well. Dimension could do very well, but they're early. But I like Beam a lot. I like Pith a lot. So I'd say under 2 billion. Pith and Beam are fantastic. I would also maybe throw in a little like, Bonk and Oasis and Manta. Like, those are also other good plays. But I think Pith and Beam are fantastic. Arbitrum is a very solid best ETH play. It's one of the best ETH plays, but Optimism is doing just as well, and there's a lot of other L2s that are doing well too. Luke Upton, shout out to you. Watch your streams every day. Have been watching for a few years. Thank you, my man. Appreciate your support. What if you have 15 billion Shiba? Would you hold for the bull run? I don't know how much 15 billion adds up to, but I don't know. I think Doge and Sheeb, they're going to get back to the previous high, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know how much more they can move after that, because the meme mania will come back, and there's so many others to choose from now. So let's not forget Pepe is still there, still one of the bigger ones. You got Whiff that's up there. You have Bonk that's up there. And there's so many more that's coming out. So I don't know if like the previous ones from the previous cycles will do that well. I'm sure they'll get back to their previous high and probably break through it. But after that, I don't know, Adam says he'll buy me a bottle of Blue Label. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, Zeus is you're right. The only reason why Doge reached to those heights before was because of Elon, right? There's still a chance. If Elon does something huge with X with Doge, there's still a chance. But I remember the peak of Doge was when Elon was going to go on SNL. And then after that, it started dumping. And he didn't do anything with Doge or about Doge during SNL. So I still remember that. It was so disappointing. But like this time around, I don't know. I don't know if there's enough to push it back up. All right, guys, let's conclude. Even though I don't want to, there's 6,500 people in here, but I gotta go. I gotta get a break. Prepare for tonight already. Bitcoin is doing very well. 51.8. We breached 52,000 briefly, and I think we're gonna keep on going. I made some predictions, and they're coming true. So remember, 60% of the time, I'm right every time. But yeah, the supply shock is real. ETFs are buying hundreds of millions of Bitcoin per day, and we're getting random spikes out of nowhere. And why do you think that's happening? Because you have these large purchases coming out of nowhere, right? So stay strong, my friends. It's going to get crazy. So make sure you tune in tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tonight's DC8 Day. And happy Valentine's Day. All right, have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.